Okay, hello.
Hello, everyone. We are going to play a game called Rankings Speed Run, as we both have to go, and there wasn't a lot to talk about this week. In quick summary, before we get started, Mira won her second HOH, aka Dalton, and pretty much made the moves that everyone's been making in the past to try and stay safe. We saw Sophia on the block again, we saw Nosha on the block again, we saw Nicole on the block again. It's pretty straightforward. Nosha was the one that ended up fighting the dust. Let's get into it.
Cool. Aaron.
Aaron. I can go first. I still feel very good about Aaron. He's in a good spot. Did a great job of like again really locking down Mira for the final week here. Um, I did move my score down to a 6, just for the reason that there were a few people that were like, "Oh, you could put up Aaron because he might be a threat down the line." Granted, like it didn't pick up any sort of traction, but I think the fact that people are saying that, plus I do think of the main power structure, he is someone that's probably on the lower end of the totem pole in terms of like that people, in terms of that group of five. So I still feel good, maybe not as strong. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at my 7. I still feel pretty good with Aaron. I saw that, but I don't really think it's anything to worry about as of right this second. So I'm gonna stay with my 7. Gives Aaron a 6.5 for the week. Okay. Dalton.
Dalton. I can start. I am extremely impressed. I thought this was a fantastic HOH week. The fact that he was able to smooth things over with Will of all people, and have that be like a relationship to like use moving forward, I think was great. Um, I was considering skyrocketing my score. I was at a 5 last week. The only reason I'm not skyrocketing it is because at the end of the day, I do think Will going home probably would have been the best move, and I think it was a misplay to not make that happen. I think Nosha going home was not only not beneficial to him, but I think like directly like a little bit hurting his game. Nosha was someone that definitely would have stayed by his side and targeted the people that he knows he's gonna have to target down the line. So in terms of socially and like structure wise, I think his HOH was a huge success. But in terms of maybe the exact move that was made, maybe not so much. But granted, his only goal was to go. So I'm gonna raise my score, but only up to 6.
Yeah, I'm also doing the same thing. Um, I'm going to a 6 as well. I think the same thing. His HOH was great. He's now going to be entering the game as himself. Um, and he's definitely smoothed stuff over with the people who he had trouble with before. So 6 for Dalton. Okay. Wow, look at that. Next, Kate.
Kate is someone that confuses me because like I think that she's someone that at least based on the track record and looking a bit forward because we know a bit of what's happening in this upcoming week, I think she just overthinks everything and it leads her to making the wrong move always. She doesn't talk to that many people. Her only alliance is Nicole, Will, Simona, Maeve. So why, after the last eviction, do you go to your allies and are like, oh my gosh, I think we should take out Will this round? Like, there's a whole fleet of other people that you do not talk to and are coming after you. Why is Will the talk of the town for you? Why are we still complaining, you and Nicole, that oh my gosh, people are saying we're a threat and that we don't talk to them? That is ridiculous. Okay, but you haven't started talking to people to like proof, like you know, like you're not. It's just bad. It's just bad. She should have gone home this week had Dalton not tied himself to her. Um, so I'm really not feeling great. I didn't end up lowering my score. I'm still at a 4 because enough people do like her, but I think it's very quickly going to go below a 4.
I'm staying at my 4 as well. I say I feel the same exact way. People are itching to get rid of her, and sooner or later, for Kate. Logan.
Okay, this is so interesting because now gameplay wise, I'm like, yes, Logan, give it to us. I'm eating it up. Yes, it's great. And like I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, it's finally time to raise our score. And then one of his allies and crucial people goes home. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do because it was the same thing with Katie last week, the same thing with Nosha this week. Nosha going home for Logan really was not a good thing. Nosha is only loyal to a couple of people, and Logan was one of them. Um, I think Logan played it correctly in terms of like there really wasn't a huge use in really pushing for her to stay. They maybe could have gotten the votes, but at what cost? Logan still has great relationships with nearly everyone else in the house besides Kate Nicole, but newsflash, they are far on the outs. Um, so I was hovering between staying at a 6 and raising my score to a 7, despite Nosha going not being great for his game. I don't think it was a huge detriment. And I think his gameplay and like game knowledge and ability at this point is proving to me that he is definitely worthy of a 7. So I'm finally going to be raising my score, but again, it is a little tentative.
That's so funny. I'm doing the exact same thing also. I'm also raising my score to a 7. I think as we continue through the game, Logan is someone who's going to continue to become a powerful player that people don't see coming. So I could see myself raising in the future even more. So we'll see. Maeve.
Maeve, I still feel very good about. I think it's a matter of how does Maeve feel.
Mhm.
And that's kind of just where I lie right now. We're now at the point where she's on her trip, and where I don't see Maeve like falling behind from where she's at. I don't see herself advancing herself further, at least for these next 2 rounds. You know what I mean? Like I think if she can just like keep up with people that she has and just like survive these next 3 weeks, that'll be great. But I think these are kind of a crucial 3 weeks. I think we are going to see some things shift, maybe. Um, so I think the most that she has to hope for is to like just keep herself in the loop. Um, yeah, I'm going for last week to stay at my 8,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't necessarily call her in the top position of the.
I feel like there's no reason for last week for me to lower my score, so I'm staying at my 8 also. And yeah,
Green scores.
I know. Why is it so green? That'll
Well,
change.
because it's about to go real red.
Mackay.
Yeah, so I mean, just putting it plainly, Teddy went last week, Nicole went this week. Mackay doesn't have any other allies. Logan is like a wishy-washy ally for him, but Logan really was loyal to Nosha and Teddy, not really Mackay. Mackay like kind of talks to Simona, but Simona is not like Simona doesn't have Mackay as a priority. No one has Mackay as a priority. He's someone that I think will immediately become the next pawn once some of these other people, like now that Noach is out the door, I expect someone else is going to go out the door next week. I think Rakai is going to find himself on the block very soon, and without any allies to back him up. Compared to someone like Sophia, who like actually does have people that like her and want to work with her.
Mhm.
So I scored for Makai, and I'm lowering it to a 3.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing actually. I think that Mackay is consistently losing allies and also consistently putting himself in a worse game position. So going down is really the only thing that makes sense right now. There's that. Okay. Nicole.
I mean, I had such strong hopes for Nicole coming into the game. The main thing that I just really can't comprehend is like anytime someone tells her like, oh yeah, like we don't really talk that much. So unfortunately, like this is what makes the most sense for me. Her reaction is not, damn, I need to talk to more people, or like, oh yeah, like we have it's like, what on earth? That's crazy. They're stupid. But she only tells this to like Kate. Like the fact that she only has Kate to go and tell this to is like proof that like Nicole, you don't talk to anyone else. So like when she's shocked that she's going up because of that reason. And it's just like seemingly like angry and like upset by it. Like, no, girl, you're not talking to anyone. I don't know like what you want here. Um, on top of that, she's another one that I think is just constantly making stupid decisions. Her and Kate are just living in la la land, unfortunately. And I think that even their close allies in Simona and Maeve have priorities elsewhere. Neither of them really want them in the game. Um, Nicole would have gone home like unanimously, nearly. Had she not won a veto. I'm looking ahead to next week. There is no veto, and I think she's going to be a target. So I'm lowering my score to a 2. I just think this is a bad week, and she's not like it's one thing to be on the bottom, but like the fact that she hasn't even like realized and woken up to the fact that like there are other things happening around you that you are not a part of is crazy to me.
Hmm. I think this week I had her staying at a 3 for me. And that's what I'm gonna keep her at. But I do, even from last week, looking ahead into this week, like her not even having a competition chance to save herself is not going to bode well for her. So we'll see what happens in 1 minute.
I was to say, should we pause here real
Yeah,
fast?
let's pause.
Let's pause.
So this, um, okay, okay, back.
Okay, we're back. Next up is Nosha. Um, okay, let me get this out of the way first. She's another one like Nicole. Girl, like the fact that you think you're talking to people and like should be in a good position and like deserve all these things, like, no, you were bad. I'm sorry. You were bad. You only had 2 allies really left in the game and Makai and Logan. And you didn't talk game with anyone. You scolded Teddy for trying to make an alliance, which, like, granted, didn't work out for him, but it's because he made it 11 days into the game after someone already won their second HOH. Like, you have to play the game to stay safe in the game. I'm sorry. That being said, I think she has a little more reason to be upset with Mira sending her home. She didn't have like any kind of conversation with Simona. With Mira, there was at least a little bit of something there, so I can understand that was saying a little bit more. In addition, she did put up like some kind of a fight. It wasn't really like going flying and scratching to stay in the game, but like at least we did campaign. So I'll give her that. Um Last week I was at a 2 because of the things that I just said. I'm not gonna lower to a 1. I feel like she actually did put in an effort to stay, and I feel like she has some, again, some legitimate gripes with how this played out. So it's only going to be a 2 from me.
Yeah, I feel like she's in, with the exception of like asking to lead the game, she was in a pretty similar predicament that Teddy was in last week. So for that reason, my score is going to be the same. I'm going down to a 2, um, which is what I had Teddy last week. But yeah, it's really unfortunate because I really liked Nosha, but it just wasn't like coming together this season.
She was just delusional. I'm sorry, you had no allies, and you thought like, why am I on the block? Like, because you have no allies. Sorry, not sorry.
Okay, Sean.
I'm sorry. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. Sean is not in a good position, and he almost went up on the block this week. He was right there. So, like, I cannot even come close to saying that he's in a good spot. Could be in a good spot, sure. Is in one right now? No. Um, I just think that people see him as someone that like isn't playing or thinking about the game, which like perception wise, like may be false, which is good for him. But in terms of like moving forward, Nosha's out now. That leaves us with realistically Sophia and Nicole as the other people that have been on the block. I see him and Makai as proven this week as the people that are right up behind them on the chopping block. Um, I think Sean is a better position than all those people. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like Sean is in a horrible position and he needs to be like doing all these things. But I think it's crazy to say that he's in a good position and like fine. So I was at a 5 last week. I'm staying at my 5 this week. Um, but if he doesn't like pull something together soon, like it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm going down to a 5. I feel the same way. He needs to really like kind of do some evaluations here and put himself in a better spot. Like, what is he doing? He just needs to kind of be a little more conscious of what's happening in the house, I think. Um, first,
Great. Um, Next up is Simona. Um,
yeah.
Damn. Going into this week with a Mira HOH, Nosha was not on, should not have been on the top of Mira's list. And the only person that I think Nosha being evicted like exponentially benefited is Simona. And it's crazy that it happened. Not only that, I think she's doing a great job at like
Mhm.
telling Mira, like, I realize that this benefits me the most. Pushing for it, you make your own decision. However, if you do this, I realize that this is a huge help to me, and therefore I will help you get out your targets next. And she said the same to Logan, who she also knew was working close with Nosha. Um, all this to say, very, very good. I think she has, up to this point in the game, and we'll talk about next week, like 100% successfully kept all of her relationships and alliances separate without really crossing over. People know, like, oh, like someone clearly talks to people. But again, it's kind of like in the Paul BB19 way, where it's like everyone thinks that, like, oh, but she's on my side. But the thing that she's doing differently than Paul is like not brutally, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think people are going to be bitter unless your name is No Shit. Slash, you're not on the jury, girl. So, which was another great read on Simona. Simona was like, I do not want No Shit on that jury. And true. So I went down from a 7 to a 6 last week. I'm going back up all the way to where I was a few weeks ago to an 8.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay at my 7 for right now. Because I think people are starting to. I think we're getting into the territory where we could start seeing people uh, target her because they know what she's about. I think we saw it. I mean, I'm not going to jump ahead, but I
Well, I
think,
was going to say, there's a lot that happened in this
yeah.
upcoming week so far that will definitely.
But even like going into the jury, like we're heading into that territory. I don't think she's 100% safe. So I'm saying my 7, but definitely very, very positive on Simona. Okay. Sophia.
Yeah, Sophia is, I can like confidently say in my gut, like, I really compare her to someone like Emma,
Mm-hmm.
maybe someone like Sarah, where, you know, like, I unfortunately for Sophia see her touching the block a lot in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I see her as a name that's going to come up in the future. However, in my mind, we're talking about the pawns where it's like Sophia versus Makai. Makai has far fewer people that he talks to, and people would like to keep Sophia around.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia versus Nicole, Nicole's a much bigger target. Sophia versus Kate. Kate is someone that people are looking to get out. You know what I mean? Like, people, like, I don't think have any problem throwing Sophia on the block, but also don't have any problem keeping Sophia around. And that's because of, I just think Sophia being a very good, well-natured person, at least compared to Nosha.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when Sophia went on the block and Simona put her up, Simona explained why. Sophia was like, yeah, I totally get that. If I stay, I would love to work with you more and fix that. And guess what happened? She stayed, she fixed it more, and now they're on great terms. And now Nosha's out of the game because she did not do that. So position wise, she's not in a good spot. Like, you can't sugarcoat that. But like socially and maybe likelihood of sticking around, I think isn't in the worst position. I think she's going to have a tough time winning the game at this point. But then again, it's not like it hasn't been done before. So all that to say, what number do I have? Because I'm teetering between two. Okay, I'm gonna stick with what I have on my phone. And I believe I moved down to 3 last week. I'm gonna move back up to the 4. She was on the block this week, so like maybe call me crazy, but I think she didn't have any issue staying. So
I completely agree. I'm staying on my 4. Um, I think as we get closer to the end of the game and as Sophia is still here, it's either going to be she's looked at as someone who has been just strolling on by, or people are going to look at her and say she has stayed next to everybody and she talks to everybody and everybody likes her. So there's 2 routes this could take. We'll see how it proceeds in the future, but those are my thoughts right now.
and finally, oh wait, it's like there. Nice.
Okay.
Finally, we have Will to talk about. I mean, I'm impressed. As
Mhm.
someone who went from, I mean, granted, like we know that the week one fiasco was a bit manufactured, but for someone that went from a very large public enemy to then like fighting with a few people is now seemingly like fighting with no one
Mhm.
and like is the goofy personality in the house that people seem to like. I think everyone sees Will as like this ostracized figure that they can kind of put in. And I think all of that's great for him. Is he on the in of things? No, definitely not. Is he on the outs and anyone's immediate target? No. I see everyone that has a lower score than him from me, that being Kate, Makai, Nicole, Nosha, Sean, and Sophia, not only being like target, like even just like being put on the block before at this point. Um, I see him in a good spot. I think his biggest flaw is he doesn't know the full layout of the game. Um, and I think he's going to be like searching for allies that maybe aren't searching for him to be their number one. So that might be where he gets into a little trouble. But we'll see. I think things are on the up and up for Will. I was at a 5 last week. I'm going to raise my score to a 6.
Um, yeah, surprisingly, I'm actually going to raise my score to a 7. I think that the trajectory that we've seen Will have so far this season is going to continue to go up. And I think it's going to keep going up. And I think that he's in a pretty good spot right now. I don't think anybody is really heavily considering that he needs to go right this second, which is a very big change to where he was before. And I think that we could see him stick around for some time. I think that he's going to be able to slip under as some of the bigger targets come out in the game. So 7 for Will, and very good job.
Alrighty.
All
Once
right.
we look at the graph here,
Oh, everyone's got a different score this week.
I say,
Is what I would say if I was lying.
oh yeah, Kate say the same.
I meant everybody.
Kate and Maeve.
No, I meant Aaron and Will are the only two people with the same score. No, oh, and Sophia and Kate. Never mind.
Oh, you meant like everyone landed in a different position.
Yeah, which doesn't
Oh,
usually happen.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the top according to the rankings is Maeve. Um, Interesting. I don't not agree with that. I know we just gave you scores, but Maeve is in a great position. It'll be interesting to see how she navigates forward, no longer being Zach. Um, right behind Maeve, we have Simona, which I think makes sense. I think you are right. Also looking forward, we'll see how she's able to navigate things. And followed right behind that is Logan, who has had targets on his back and whatnot. So I think like a really interesting top of the group. Definitely not anyone that's untouchable, but I think they're doing a great job. Um, Down at the bottom, Nosha, of course, went home. Right behind her is Nicole on the block and like doesn't seem to think that like she should have been on the block. Wake up. Um, and right behind that is Makai, who just lost 2 back-to-back allies and is left with absolutely no one actively protecting him. So, not great for Makai.
Yes.
Excited for Maven Dalton to be revealed and have them play the game. I think it'll be very, very interesting to see how they play the game as themselves. I think we've already started to see that it, at least in my opinion, is different than I expected. And I can't wait to talk about it at the next rankings.
All right. See you.